social media, the kind of thing some old people would prefer to switch off before they go to bed. Welcome to Presspoint, everyone. Have you ever wondered how life would be without social media? How would it feel like for someone to switch off your social media for your sake so that you can have some good sleep, free from those annoying memes, and then in the morning, you call them and they switch it back on for you? I'm sure you're saying, but such things cannot happen in Kenya. We are a democracy with free speech and protected in Article 33 of the Katiba, blah, 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 blah. You know what? Katiba ni wewe. Songa tuwapimie internet.
We don't want to take that route. Na watu wa social media wanatuelekeza huko. Ni lazima, unajua sasa itabidi, na hatukutaka hivyo, itabidi tuulize serikali iregulate social media. Kama China wameregulate, TikTok ya China ni yao, sio hii yenu. Unaona? Mambo ya WhatsApp hakuna China, hakuna Dubai, hakuna Cuba, katika nchi zingine zote hakuna WhatsApp. Social media must be regulated.
First of all, the word is regulate, not regulate, or whatever that thing you said. Regulate sounds like a word in reproduction, which of course I can't say on this show because old people might be watching. Anyway, about regulation or regulation, whichever word you want to use, I know people like Atwoli would wish to front morality as one of the reasons why social media should be regulated. How children are accessing dangerous sites. Also, how old people who should not be on social media are on it. And that's understandable. Very much in order. We are all for morality, people. Unfortunately, the only thing that politicians are scared of is not morality. Hell no. In fact, I dare say, the more decadent the society is, the better it is for some people. Whether you are a drunk or an addict of sorts, after 5 years, you can be mobilized to still vote. Na kura ijaandikwa ni ya mlevi. Kura ni kura tu. Back to the point. If anyone wants to regulate social media because of their own egos, but pretending it's about morality or security, how about I plant ideas into your heads? Just create a room at the State House, which can be managed by a competent cabinet secretary. Let's say someone like Kabogo, all right? He interacted with 2 Pentium computers and has knowledge in MS-DOS. Clearly the perfect guy for this kind of gig, And this social media manager can switch on the internet for short bursts, just enough time for Itumi's team to flood timelines with hashtags like #Shif is working, #NHIF was bull, #the mountain is intact, #Kenya Kwanza delivers, and so on and so forth. And then boom, switch it off again. Now here's the problem, guys. First, we won't have enough time to actually engage with your hashtags. So how will we know whether the government has delivered if you don't get to tell us by way of hashtags? See where I'm going? Also, think about your 525 shillings keyboard warriors who depend on the same social media. How will they earn a decent coin if you don't give them time to work? That's bad for you too, isn't it? The second option, set up a physical spot, maybe someone's home, where young people can go every morning to collect rationed bundles, just enough data to post something light. Nothing scandalous. Definitely not ugly. For this conversation, let's say we go to Mzee Atwoli's compound each morning to collect our measured bundles. You see how easy the whole thing can be? Yes, so easy. Regulating social media can be so easy. It's not like regulating people over 70 for making babies. That can be hard, you guy. Very hard. Presspoint continues. And now to other things that the world, and by the way, when I say world, I mean Kenya desperately wants to regulate. Artificial intelligence. Nudin Haji, please do us the honors of curtain raising before we see performances from your invited international artists.
The proliferation of information and disinformation campaigns, exacerbated by the use of AI-generated content, has waged a war against truth, with governments being the biggest targets.
Yeah, DPP Nudin Haji was speaking at this gathering called the Mashariki Conference, where security chiefs from across East Africa have decided that they will be meeting every year, supposedly to talk about security. But all we can really ask ourselves is, who is that on that guest list? And if you're struggling to figure out the profiles of the countries represented at this year's Mashariki conference, here's a test. First up, Belarus. See Belarus here talking about threats of AI?
Financing extremist activities and riots using digital instruments such as cryptocurrency and payment system, cyber attacks on infrastructure of enterprises, life support and energy facilities, government and law enforcement bodies.
And then, this is how Belarus deals with protesters rallying against election fraud under President Alexander Lukashenko's regime. A government that has clung to power for over 30 years with no sign of relinquishing control.
These people say they are also angry about police brutality and arbitrary arrests of opposition politicians and protesters. Many gathered outside the walls of Okristina detention centre, shouting, "Let them out." They refer to it as a notorious torture chamber. They're demanding the release of the prisoners' names they're pinning to the doors of the detention centre.
And this is our good friend Turkey or Turkey talking about how bad AI is.
That certain technologies are controlled by certain powers and countries and companies, and how we make it a really fair and just leveling field for everyone to compete in an equitable manner remains a major challenge.
All right, people, here is a random episode of Kenya-Turkey collabo.
This brazen abduction of one of the Turkish nationals in Nairobi and the subsequent forceful return to Turkey, where their fate remains unknown, has left Kenya in the eye of a storm, with widespread uproar and condemnation from advocates and humanitarian organizations alike who are faulting Kenya for the decision.
Now, whereas the video could be AI, the action itself was real with far-reaching moral questions for both Kenya and Turkey, or Turkey. Do you see the pattern in the two invitations plus Iran included? So the real question is, what are we actually saying here? Are we saying that one day when unarmed protesters in this country decide to peacefully hit the streets over something like like a finance bill, that we will make them disappear? Just like that, gone, never to be seen again? Oh, wait. Oh, we already crossed that bridge. You know what, Mashariki organizers? Let's quit with each other. Next year, let's go all out. Let's invite Afghanistan and North Korea. I'm sure they will have great insights on artificial intelligence. Which brings me to today's Presspoint trivia question. Is AI so bad? Can any good ever come out of it? Or is AI only bad when someone creates an animation of a politician with a briefcase of money from questionable sources? But AI becomes good when the government uses it, or at least models of it, to put university students in Band 30, where they are only eligible for fare from help? Valid questions. I honestly think that the government should learn to cope with AI in all its facets. The same way we learn to accept working with the government. Do we love the government? Is that even a question? But is government necessary? Of course, yes. Government is necessary, because without government, who would eat my taxes? Huh? Who? Who will eat your taxes? If this government utilizes AI properly, some of the problems we have in this country can be averted. I will not even talk about things like security, because that's obvious, guys. You know, it's common sense. Or predicting weather patterns so that we don't have to exhaust God praying and fasting for rain. We just ask God to give us the knowledge to use AI. You know, the AI weather models to predict when to plant next. You see? Politically, AI may also help us predict the weather as we prepare for rallies. You know, with clever mathematical models, we know if someone is going to throw stones at us or if you are going to be heckled. It's simple. Just feed all the rubbish statements about a particular group of people and then ask AI, "Hello AI, based off my statements, yeah, will I receive a good reception?" And you can have your answer.
Mheshimiwa Kimani Ichung'wah, leader wa majority katika bunge la kitaifa. Mheshimiwa Rais, mimi akaida bwana holai.
Now, whereas some in government are launching a completely unnecessary war against AI, especially social media related AI, there are politicians who have clearly embraced AI, especially if you want to look at AI as intelligence that only starts functioning optimally after work. You can wear it and then you end up looking sharp all the time. AI candidate 1.
That's why sahi mimi nimekuwa mkali.
Umekuwa mkali sana.
Sahi unaona points inatoa sahi. Watu wanasema sahi mimi ndio wisdom man ambaye amebaki Kenya hii.
Ndani amesema hivyo.
Sisi watu wanasema.
You're the wisest man.
Sahi wisdom inatoka tu kwa Mwenyezi Mungu ikiteremka hapa chini. Alafu naambia watu.
Inatoka direct.
Hii inatoka kwa hiki picha enzi ya Mwenyezi Mungu. Ninakuja hapa nakaa chini angalia. Unajua watu wanaona mimi chizi. Lakini ya super intelligent mimi ni mtu ambaye niko na wisdom ya Mwenyezi Mungu.
Yeah, that's AI intelligence type 1 for you. And just to throw in a disclaimer, this kind of intelligence has its limits. AI can make mistakes and sometimes things can take a serious ugly turn.
On the terraces, drama unfolded as Mumias East Member of Parliament Peter Salasia, who was wearing an AFC Leopards jersey, was roughed up by a section of fans.
And I'm intelligent enough to know that he was roughed up for wearing an AFC Leopards jersey. Next type of artificial intelligence is one that gives you a thorough background check, because that's how you determine solid leadership. Now, here is our artificially intelligent candidate number 2. And finally, we all know AI works with algorithms. If you keep searching for mangoes, you will only keep getting mangoes. And if you keep searching about how to nominate everyone with questionable morals, with no clear job description, and still want to be taken seriously, then that's what AI will bring you.
Nominated Senator Karen Nyamu is one under siege in a video that went viral on Saturday. The nominated senator was seen engaging in a scuffle that involved Mogidi singer Samuel Mushoki Samido and his wife Edith Derito in Dubai. And that has been a press point.